Catch you on the rebound. Everybody levels good?
I think so. Is that camera going to look all right for you? Do I need to move it over a little bit?
I think we fine. I can scoot over.
There you go. Problem solved.
Catch you on the rebound. Hey, man. Nobody want to hear about mental health, but that's okay.
You should want to.
Hey. Mark McCray.
Hey, man. What's cracking?
What's up, my dog? What's going on, man?
Young lady, how are you?
I'm fine, Mark.
Shout
How
out to
you doing?
Mickey, co-host.
Good there.
Talk to me.
How do the kids say? In the building.
We got the legend in the business. What?
Legend. We do
got
have a legend up in
legend in
here,
the
man.
building.
Let's go ahead and get this man his flowers.
Oh,
Mark McCray.
I like flowers.
How long you been in the game, man?
Now, you talking about the broadcasting game?
Broadcasting game.
This year, and actually this month,
Wow.
30 years.
Come on.
Wow.
Started in August of 91.
Applause.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm going to give a real applause, man.
Yeah, August of 91.
30 years.
Yeah, I was 16 years old and I got started. I went to college at 16. And I started in radio then.
16.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Yeah, I went to college. Southern Illinois University.
Okay.
You know mascots. Do you know which one that is?
No, Southern
How about you?
No.
Wildcats? Wildcats?
No, Salukis.
The what?
Salukis.
What is that?
You lost.
Salukis is a dog.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not the most, intimidating,
Yeah.
of mascots, but, it's a dog. It's an Egyptian dog.
Yeah.
Look that one up.
In Illinois.
That's right, Southern Illinois.
Man. Mark, that's been on my bucket list to go to Chicago. To go
Really?
somewhere in
Now, that's
Illinois.
Northern Illinois. That's almost Wisconsin. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so we in the South.
Yeah, I was right outside of St. Louis. About an hour and some change outside of St. Louis is where I went to college.
Okay.
6 hours away from Chicago. Illinois is a very long state.
Right.
So, moms and pops shipped me 6 hours away from the crib to go to college. And at the time I was kind of pissed off about it. But it's the best thing they could have did, because Chi-Town is mad dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Even then.
Yeah, different type of dangerous, but still dangerous. The gangs are still pretty prevalent. It's worse now. Because I think back then, and again, this is just all, my take on it. I just think that there was a code, like, you don't mess with young kids, you don't beat up old
Athletes.
folks, and that kind of stuff. And I think that code is a wrap. I don't think everybody is suspect to get their ass whooped
Now?
or get killed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
That's true.
That's
Athletes used to get a pass, but now they kind of involved in it too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you can't really tell.
That's 30 years. We need to throw you a party.
30 years.
30 years this year.
This month, actually.
This month.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't really think about it till now, but yeah. August of 91 is when I started college, and, they dropped me off at school, and within, I don't know, hours, literally hours of them dropping me off at the dorm, I went up to the student station there and signed up so that I could be, I could be on the air at the student station.
Oh, so you
Well, he
knew.
wasn't playing no games.
So
Yeah.
you knew.
Yeah, I knew.
Playing no games.
Yeah, I knew at 15. I knew about a year or so earlier. How it happened was one summer, my mom says, I was about 15. I was going to my senior year, and she says, you're too old to go to camp, and you're too young to be sitting around the house doing nothing all summer. So we got to figure something out. So I found out that Columbia College in downtown Chicago was giving high school kids college credit. By the time we found out about it, there was 3 classes left. There was radio, TV, or aerobic dance. All right, so aerobic dance ain't happening. And being an awkward 15-year-old, I'm like, I'm not getting in front of nobody's camera. So I'll do the radio thing really just to appease my mother that summer. Had no desire to be into broadcasting. I was awkward. I was shy, but I did it to appease her. And I went there. I remember the very first class, they showed us the station on the campus of Columbia College. That was it. That was it. That's all I needed to see. Within seconds of me being in that studio, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is it.
Okay.
This is the business right here. Yeah, this is happening.
Who was on the air then?
At that student station, a bunch of nobodies, but who I grew up listening to,
Yes.
Tom Joyner
Yo.
and Doug Banks.
You know what? That's who you remind me of.
Wait. I got a twister for you. Okay? You ain't even ready. So Tom Joyner was on the air.
Yes.
Little does she know.
Yeah.
Would you tell her your relationship with Tom Joyner?
Because
Yeah.
we never discussed this.
Yeah, so for the last 3 years of his career, I was his vice president of programming.
What?
Yeah. I managed the entire staff of his show and the operations for his show.
Come on.
Yeah.
This
Come
is a
on.
legend.
This is
I
a
just want y'all to know.
Nah.
This
Well,
is a
Tom's the legend, and I was just lucky enough to work with him. Well, what's interesting about it, because I used to be on his cruises that he does every year,
Okay.
right?
You're right. I remember those.
And so whenever I was on the cruise, people would always stop me and be like, "Are you Tom's son?" I'm like, "No, not. I work on his show. I work with his show, but I'm not his son." So a lot of times I get jumbled in with him.
Yeah. That.
He's great though.
He's
He's
not a bad person to get mixed up.
no.
with.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? You probably get in some doors using that one.
Yeah,
Man.
pretty
What's
dope.
up? Yeah, that's what's up. Oh yeah, this is our first time Mickey being my co-host.
Hey, y'all.
So how you feeling over there, Mickey?
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I got a lot of. I got a lot of.
I know you got a lot of feelings.
I got a lot of feelings.
feelings.
So first time in. Me and you talked about this, but
Mm-hmm.
first time in, I'm like, I gotta get well acquainted, get a little loose, because everybody know I am loose.
Right.
I'm a very active and personable person, but if I'm out of my element for a little second, it's gonna take me a little bit more. But
I don't get that you're out of your element.
you don't think so?
Come on.
No, I don't think so.
Well, preach to me.
Yeah,
Tell
we
me
go.
something.
I don't think so. No, a lot of people get really, hear themselves in their headphones, and it's a surreal experience. They lock up, and you're being your authentic self, and that's the most important thing.
This is why I love Mark.
That's the truth. Otherwise, I wouldn't say nothing. But no, I'm being honest. Like, you're being authentic, and authenticity wins in everything. And even I did morning radio for many years, and one of the things that I learned about, and I may have shared this with you, and may have shared this with you as well, but when I had my co-host on the air with us, I would never tell them anything I was going to talk about, because their first reaction is the most genuine reaction.
Look at me.
No, honestly, their first reaction is the most genuine reaction.
Okay.
So if I was to bring up a topic with them off the air, they're going to initially react to it. Oh, man, that's crazy. There's no way I would do that. And then we go on the air, and they've thought about it some more. They processed it, and now they're trying to come up with the perfect response.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Your
you're
initial response is the perfect response every time.
You're right.
And you can't fake that.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, that's a good. So we're gonna take that and run with it, because I
take it
don't
and
ever
run
want to
with it.
know now.
Yeah, man. Recently, the baby had a lot of backlash about what he said. But have you heard anything worse than that? over your
Oh
30
my
years?
God, the things that have been
have.
said.
Okay.
Man, we were saying all kind of stuff on the air. I've said
On the
terrible
air?
stuff. Absolutely.
Okay. So why are they killing that man like that?
Because it's 2021 and there's not stuff that you can say anymore. A couple years ago, listen, they was calling AIDS the ninja back in the day.
Not the ninja.
Yeah, you got the ninja. Like, it was foul. People would make, think about
It's funny though.
I got it.
It's horrible, but it's funny.
You can't do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
think about the TV show In Living Color. They had
Right.
these two straight guys playing gay guys doing
Okay, David
movie
Allen
reviews.
Greer, David Allen Greer.
Damon Wayans,
And
right?
Damon Wayans. I remember
That
that.
would not fly right now.
That is true.
Think about
'Cause
that.
People are sensitive.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
Extremely.
But in Living Color is on one of those.
I get it. They let some of that stuff slide.
Okay.
I got another one for you, right? There was a terrible movie made back in 1986 called Soul Man. Are you familiar with that?
Not the
All I
original
know-
Soul Man.
Soul
I think that was a more modern one.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the movie with Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, right.
I'm not
no,
talking about that one.
Oh, nah.
I'm talking about this one with C. Thomas Howell and Radon Chong. This movie, back in 1986, it's a white dude, put on blackface so that he could benefit from affirmative action to get into a school that he was denied entry into. That is an hour-and-a-half motion picture.
Wait, where can I
Wow.
find that at? Can I find that out too?
You think it's worth watching?
It's terrible.
Okay, so it's not worth watching. But they got away with that.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was in
theaters.
Yes, it's a multi-million-dollar film.
Okay.
$1 million.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it was a movie.
I would.
So it's the time. Like, the things you do now, you can't do that. You can't say that. In a lot of ways, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, right? I think that there's certain things that I think that we're getting a little bit too sensitive about. And I'll give you an example, right? I think when I say we're getting too sensitive about, meaning that we're concentrating on the wrong things.
Okay.
So, for instance, Procter & Gamble or, whatever it is, General Mills or whatever company it was, they want to change Uncle Ben's and Aunt Jemima. That's
They
true.
did.
Probably, yeah, and right.
Pearl
But
Mills.
my thing is, like, I really don't give a damn about no pancakes and no syrup or no rice.
I'm eating.
As it compares to you putting minorities in leadership positions at these corporations.
Okay.
Right.
Why don't we talk about diversity inclusion in your own workspace and not worry about that stuff's secondary. Like, we got other things that we need to fix. We need to fix police brutality. We need to make sure that voting laws are open for everybody. There's a lot of things that we need to concentrate on. And I think sometimes we're concentrating on the wrong stuff.
Absolutely.
Black people weren't up in arms about Uncle Ben's or Aunt Jemima.
Wasn't.
We were up in arms about other stuff.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, all right, we changed pancakes, now y'all Negroes shut up. Like, no, that's not really what we're trying to do here.
Exactly
We're
how
trying to do other stuff, right?
Okay.
So-
And they worried about syrup.
Man,
We
and
not
it
worried
is good
about
syrup though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I bet that happens often. That
What's
they
that?
kind of they change one thing, which I guess we would celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but
yes,
they don't actually really do anything.
Yeah, it's a sleight of hand.
Right.
Okay.
Look over here, look over here, look over here, right?
Just like
Right.
they did they just did making hip hop a national, what is it? We have the month or a national
Okay, I
holiday
saw
or
that. We
something.
have like a national.
But then they want
holiday.
to take the history of slavery
out.
and keep the KKK, you know, not for it to seem like it was anything bad, like this was historic. And
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit of a shell game. And the other thing, too, is like, if you want to, like how do we systematically help out minorities, right?
Okay.
Or disenfranchised people? Like, you say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start adding economy classes, financial literacy classes into the inner city schools so that these young people coming up can understand how to invest in stocks and how to budget correctly. Those are the things where it's like, okay, well, now they really care. They're trying to do something.
Those are tools that we need.
Right.
Right.
We don't, a kid growing up in a bad area of Baltimore does not need his Uncle Ben's change.
No, ain't
Right,
do nothing for
right,
him. They don't do nothing for him. There's no benefit at all.
Right. There's a lot of other things he can benefit from.
Agreed.
Okay.
I agree on that. I was just about to ask you something, and it totally slipped my mind.
Sorry about that.
Wait, so
Okay.
do you think that, because we know in some years the white race is going to diminish completely?
Not completely, but it's
Well,
going to
for the most
diminish.
part.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you think us as black people will take that opportunity to rise to the occasion to bring more black people, or to make that diversity and inclusion come to pass?
To
Will
shorten
we,
that gap.
because I don't, honestly, me personally, I do not believe every black person they're not gonna get on board. I just have to, I think.
Well, there's a couple of things. Like, even with the white race dwindling, they can still dwindle and still hold much economic power.
They got more than 50% of it.
Right.
They
So
got all of it.
they can dwindle down another 20%, but if they're still holding 80% of the wealth, then the first number is irrelevant, right? So we aren't a barbaric people by nature, and so I think that sometimes, and again, this is my own hypothesis, is that the fear that white people have when you really look deep, and they've said it, is that what they've done to others could happen to them. I don't really think that there's that issue with us doing that. No, I don't really see that.
We would have by now. We would have done something.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And really, our violence is largely in part to each other,
Yep.
and that's because of proximity, not because of race. Right. Meaning that you victimize people that are in your region, right?
Right.
And so I just, and black people getting on board, we still got to have those. We still got to have the opportunity to be able to generate the wealth that we need to do, right? And we get slivers from here and there, and we've also have a culture here in America, in my opinion, where it's like, here's the few ways that you guys can make some money that's acceptable.
That's acceptable.
Yeah,
A
that
few
we're
ways.
that we're comfortable with.
And I
Right,
get that.
right.
Putting limits on it, man.
Right, being CEOs of companies and all that kind of stuff. If it does happen, it's really it's low. And because you may have lost the job in the interview. And it's one of those things too, where it's like even people that don't consider themselves racist, but racism shows itself in many forms. And one of the forms is that, no, I want black people to do well. I do. I'm rooting for you, but not better than us.
Right. Right.
Hey,
Right.
is that part right there.
Yeah.
But not better.
But not better than us, right? Right. And that's it in a nutshell, in my opinion. You can do great. We want you to do great. Oh, your kid's going to a good college, fantastic. Oh, your kid is the CEO of Johnson & Johnson. Well, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
a little
right.
bit concerned.
Now, I don't like that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Okay. Man, we're getting somewhere now. Me personally, from what I've seen,
And
I feel like,
again, this is this is
ahead.
not a broad brush. I'm not painting all. I'm not painting it that way. I'm not. But there is a system in America that even some people don't even realize that they feel that way, right? And I think people.
You don't think they realize?
Some don't.
Some maybe don't.
No, some don't. Some people are actually being exposed to their privilege right now.
Okay.
So they are. They're like, oh my God, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
I'm being exposed to stuff that I never thought about 10, 15 years ago. I tell you, that internet, it's good for two things.
Hey,
It's
man.
good. It's good for porn and exposing the
Information.
atrocity.
It's a lot of information on it. Some of those pages I follow.
A lot of information.
That's
a
the two
lot of
things that
information.
I tell you the internet is good for.
Yeah.
Exposing folks and pornography. Those two things, the stock is high on them too.
Did you ever have to like deal with these conversations from 91 to now?
Not so much in the early 90s. And that was because of my ignorance, my youth. And then it wasn't really a comfortable space to talk about. And also, I just didn't know. It wasn't thing that they were talked about, right? I've been exposed to a lot. And now, like the light is on. The light is on in a dark room. Right. And ignorance is bliss, I mean, sometimes if you watch The Matrix.
No.
I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen it.
It's like the red pill, you can stay in the Matrix
I
and
did
kind of
hear
just
about
live your
that.
life, or the other pill, you can
Yeah.
see what's inside. And then many of us, and me on certain occasions, like, I think I want to stay inside the Matrix. I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of it sometimes. It's hard.
I was pretty happy in my ignorance.
It's hard.
That's what I was saying. I was just telling somebody that. I was like, man, I wish we just had the opportunity to, you want to just stay in the 90s? Yeah. Just stay in the 90s.
And
I
it was
wanna go
jacked
anywhere
up,
past
right? Mad racism,
Yeah.
but closeted, but we were kind of like,
it. Going.
13th
It
Amendment.
it was going.
right, we were all ignorant to that, right? And it's it's all very interesting. Sad, but it is interesting.
Man, shout out Chico Bean. Though. What he said was that although the times do change, that he's still living out his 90s fantasies.
Good for him.
So, Mickey,
I'm with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with
like
that.
the times are always gonna change.
I'm with that.
But like you can forever live out your 90s fantasies.
Yeah.
Forever. It's going to pass down.
Me personally, like right now in 2021, I feel like this is the age of the female. You see women getting positions. You see them getting head coaching jobs. You see them getting all of these different positions that they never had the opportunity to get until now.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like at the end of the decade, that minority women in general, they will have a higher position or have had
Eventually,
the opportunity.
but they got a long way to go because they're
you think
still.
so?
Oh my God, they're so marginalized. I think black women, even Latino women, to an extent, are very marginalized. I think that, in some ways, I think that they're placating it. I think that they're.
You throwing out words,
I
Mark.
mean, look, I'm trying to wait.
Hold on. Marginalized.
Where is
Yeah, I think that they're kind of like just like well, we're trying to fix it. Calm down, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how genuine it is. That's where I'm at.
Just make it look good. Just we're gonna do that. Just like you said with the blacks, we're gonna put you here for what we want you to do.
Right.
Make it look good. Sugarcoat it a little bit.
Yeah.
How's your
What?
mental, Mark?
Huh?
Oh, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead. What's your
I
question?
said, how's your mental?
I think it's okay. I think it's pretty good. I do think that we need to normalize therapy.
You think we
Yes.
need to?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that we need to. That needs to be something. I think we need to normalize that.
We do.
I think there's a stigma with it too.
But how do
We
we
need some
get out of
financial aid.
I don't know if it'll be normalized within our lifetime, but I think that it's getting there.
Different countries. It won't be in America. I don't think so. I
Well,
don't
you
think
know
they care
where it'll
enough
be in
about
America if it ends up being a huge moneymaker. Then it'll be normal.
that is
happen?
true.
Huh?
I feel like
Could
it
happen.
can.
Yeah.
You just gotta put it in a way. I feel like you gotta put it in a way where it can
If it's packaged right, oh yeah, that's gonna take
right.
off.
There's one guy, and he opened the world's first mental health gym.
Okay.
So it's like you just go there, kind of chill. They have all these different exercises and areas, and you just find kind of what works for you.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like 10 years out.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it definitely could.
Do you think that there are people that want to take that red pill and stay
Yeah,
without
it's easier.
being,
Oh my God.
I think life is hard enough as it is, and then you just like, all right, I could step out of it and then be mad all day, or I could just,
Well, let me ask you a question.
eat Chick-fil-A and watch.
This
Like,
is a good moral ethical question,
Okay.
especially for a female.
Okay.
It's good for men too, but I'm going to ask you, right? So you're really happy in this relationship. Oh my God, things are just amazing, right?
Okay.
You love this man. You got a couple kids with him. I mean, he is a really, really good husband.
Come on.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. He has slept with somebody behind your back, and he feels bad about it. It was a mistake. Would you want to know? Or would you rather live in the happiness that you're in right now? Because some people think that he's just unburdening himself and ruining your rose-colored glasses. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about that sort of ignorance. What is the benefit of you knowing that?
My health.
What health?
My health. If you stepped out on me.
Right. But he's not. He's not. He was
he didn't-
responsible.
Okay, he was
He
responsible.
was responsible.
That out of it. See, that's staying in the matrix or coming out.
I think I'm.
Because you're
as of
really
right
happy.
now, I'm really happy, but everybody's not perfect. Me, personally, I want to know.
Okay. Now,
I want to know.
there's two types of people. There's the ones that want to know, and
No,
then there's ones that don't. Some people want to be out of the matrix. They want to know, and some people are like, you know what? I'm actually really happy. I was better off if you hadn't. And there's been some guys who've unburdened themselves, women too, right? I slept with Roger and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I really wish you had kept your mouth shut. I was pretty happy.
I mean, I think because I think with myself, I'm a very forgiving person. Let's be clear. I really have no tolerance for cheating. But if I'm in this realm of happiness,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just so great, I can't be oblivious to the fact that the man. I just can't be dumbfounded
Right.
to it. I have to. Okay, I know. I'm taking mental note now. I may not.
But that relationship's forever changed.
Absolutely.
But and if you were at 100% happiness, now you're at 82% happy.
I don't know about
Forever?
82.
Could be. Okay, give me a percentage.
I'm asking. I'm trying to get some numbers myself, Mark.
82% still. Was that a B plus or a B? Yeah, that's not bad.
82 is a B.
That's
It's B.
It's a B.
It's a B.
Right. It's a B.
Yeah. I'm a very. I like to know. I'm a communicating person.
Right.
I like to know what's going on. I know some people that be like, "No, I'm good. Don't even tell." But I ain't trying to look like no fool neither.
But nobody knows but him. Nobody knows but him.
Okay, because if somebody else to come, what? You got me out here looking like a fool?
Right.
Oh, now I'm really gonna be mad. So that would take me to like 100 to 82 if somebody else was to tell me. Right. But if you tell me, then I may go from 100 to 95, 90.
Oh, so honesty is the way.
I love honesty. I can't stand a liar. Oh man, I can't stand a liar. Especially if you can sit here and look at me in my face, in my eyes, into my soul, and tell me with a straight face, a bold face lie. Oh yeah, I could never trust you ever again. That knocks us to 50%.
Would you want to know?
Yes, JT. Would you want to know?
I ask myself this question all the time, and now I don't think I would. I think I would be happier if I just didn't. I say, God, if you want me to know, then let me know. But if I don't need to know, just
Right.
Do you think men and women look at?
I don't think men can handle it like women can.
I don't think so.
I don't think
so
we
either.
can.
Why is that? Why are men?
I feel like it's usually our friends.
Well, I think it's more than that. I think it's deeper than that.
Oh, you think it's deeper than that?
Yeah, I think that because it's
the physical aspect of
I
it,
do.
that you gave your body to
Yeah.
somebody else.
It's the barbaric act.
That's
And men want to feel like that's
interesting.
my, that's mine. Like,
yeah.
I feel it.
Y'all are interesting creatures.
Yeah.
Very much so. Because I just the ad it's the male aspect of it and then the female aspect of it. It's just
And these are sweeping, these aren't for everybody. These things
Right.
aren't boilerplate. But typically,
males are pretty sensitive
oh yeah.
about stuff, and I understand like JT said, I want this to be mine. Like this is mine. But women like the same thing too. This dude right here is mine.
But you touched on something really interesting. You said that men are really sensitive.
Yes.
And this is really an interesting thing. I think women get a bad rap about this,
Okay.
especially in the workplace, right?
Okay.
I think that women get the rap that they're very emotional and all that. No, I think people are emotional. But what I've noticed over time, and I've managed both men and women, the dudes are way more emotional than the women.
Yeah.
Every time.
I agree.
I've seen more dudes cry in my office than women. Isn't that
In
something?
the office?
What?
Absolutely.
What?
I'm like, really?
Hold on.
Like, seriously, like, get upset, like, get emotional, get vindictive about stuff, get all swelled up, like, won't let stuff go. Like, I've noticed
Yeah.
in my career, don't say that there were women that weren't like that, but when I started to think about the pure numbers of it
Right.
and the percentage of women to men who have been more emotional about what I consider to be small infractions,
Yeah.
Right.
I think that the men were more emotional.
Do you think it has to do anything with the mental?
I'm trying to figure out why that is.
Well, I think because I'm not qualified to psychoanalyze
But I
anybody.
like
You
it.
been
I like
around.
it.
You been
I
around
like
the block.
it.
Come on now.
but I think that it is because the one word that I keep coming back to in these scenarios that have started wars, that have caused arguments, that is the crux of what masculinity is the word respect. If there's any sort of inkling of disrespect in any way, shape, or form, then things go south.
For the man.
Absolutely.
Like he feels disrespected.
Right. Like, I didn't like the way that he said that to me. There's been times where I've pulled people aside for things that they've done wrong. That's my job as a manager. I managed radio stations for years. And I've had to throw it back on them. Like, I've had to play this game with them. Like, they're wrong. They're clearly wrong. I'm telling them that they're wrong. I'm not being nice about them making the mistake. And their retort to me is, well, I just don't like the way you talk to me. And my retort is, well, you need to coach me on how I should talk to you about being late to work every day. Coach me on how I should have that conversation with you, because it's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, that. And what do they?
They don't have a retort to that, right? If you're unhappy with this conversation, don't be late for work, or don't miss this, or don't do that.
Because how else do you want me to put that?
Right. I had one employee, we had worked a radio station, we had dead air, which is a sin. That means the radio station, the song ended, and we're just off the air.
Nothing.
If you turn on the radio, psst, nothing. For a minute and a half.
That's not good.
Oh, yeah,
No,
that's
it's
no
not.
bueno.
You know what I mean? Listeners, they're just like, what's going on with them?
Yeah.
Bam, they changed the channel. So I call them up when I hear the radio station come back on. I'm furious. And I'm like, what was that? What's going on up there? Oh, man, I went to the bathroom and I didn't have the next thing queued up to go. And I let them have it. Like, your one job is to keep the radio station on the air.
Go on.
More than anything else is to keep the songs going.
Right.
The radio station's got to be on the air at all times, right? I mean, you got to look at it like, a pacemaker. Like, this thing can't have any dead air.
Right.
That's not
I never heard that term before.
Right?
But it makes
Like,
sense.
just keep it on the air. That's your only responsibility.
One job.
Right.
Literally.
one job.
The loudest thing at a radio station is silence, honestly.
Man.
So I let them have it. And I'm like, you got to pay attention. This is unacceptable, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I ain't cussing them out, but I'm letting them know, like,
Right.
this is not the business. Like,
Right.
get it together, get your head back in the game. We can't have this, right? I hang up with him. He calls me back. Calls his boss back and says, I just want to let you know, like, I really didn't like the way you talked to me. You act like I'm sabotaging the radio station. I said, well, first of all, if I thought you were sabotaging the radio station, I wouldn't have called you. I'd just be up there getting you off the air. That's the
Period.
first thing.
You fired.
You fired.
Right. The second thing is you're not more special than anybody else.
Right.
Everybody who has dead air on the air gets the same phone call. Why are you so special? So here's the deal. You didn't like the phone call. I didn't like making it. You didn't like receiving it. Keep the station on there. This will never happen.
Period. You got one job.
That's pretty
kid.
simple.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Now, not saying that this would have happened with a female, because I've had females on the air and I've let them have it too. Like you got to pay attention. They're like, I'm super sorry. It won't happen again. I know I made a mistake. I may even see them in 3 days where they're like, hey, I really want to apologize again for this Saturday. I was out of line, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Women.
The dude, though, he disrespected me.
I think.
I will say though, I don't.
And being a black man doesn't help. I'll tell you that. And that's with our own people and with not our own people.
Right.
They don't want to hear from the brother.
Yeah, I remember me and you talking about that, and you were like, yeah, because if it was with the white man, you would have taken it,
Yeah.
eaten it, and keep on walking.
Oh, may have been upset. May have been really pissed, but wouldn't have called him.
You wouldn't have called back.
It would, I haven't seen that happen.
Yeah.
You already know what type of time he on.
Yeah. I already don't want you here anyway.
But
so
I'm
how
gonna
about
treat
this?
the brother like this and call him
Yeah.
back.
We feel more comfortable doing that, right? I don't want to be disrespectful. Yeah, it's
We got a ways to go, man. We got a ways to go.
But that's also very deep seated. That's very deep ingrained, and that's part of our mental, right? Like you're really big on mental health. Like that is something that's ingrained in us. Like we are fighting against each other in a lot of ways, and it's unfortunate. But I think we're starting to recognize that, and I think we're starting to turn a corner with that with certain people. Okay. I know that my eyes have been opened up to so much, and I'm still learning a lot. And I'm not the same person I was 5, 10, 15 years ago, because you just learn and you start to process. And you know, the conversation, the person you talk to more than anybody else in your life is yourself, right? And you're in your own head, and you start to rationalize things and think about things. And if you're honest with yourself, you're always thinking about ways to improve, and to be a better person, and to see things from a different perspective, and to practice the one word that I think a lot of people struggle with, and that is empathy. You know, empathy would solve probably 90% of our problems, right? You know, if we just kind of start to think about how is this affecting somebody else, or how do they feel about that, and get out of our own ego about it.
Okay, that's big.
Do you think women can handle it better due to the fact that we've been programmed to be disrespected?
Whoa,
That's interesting.
Programmed to be disrespected?
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
God damn.
We have been I would think we've been programmed. I feel like that's why women have always been known to do this, do what the man say. This is what's got to be done.
Right.
And that's what we were programmed to do.
I think there may be some validity to that. I could totally see where you've arrived at that. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'd be wondering, well, since we just now talked, because I've never thought about it like that, but then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, is it because men have always they've always put themselves on high horses, and then they've always knocked women down? Because women, like you said, this is women's time now.
Right.
So we're taking it every time that we can get it, but if we don't if we don't get offered it, we're not really tripping, because y'all already programmed. Well, not y'all, but the man has already programmed us to not be in that position.
Right.
So
yes,
I think women are stronger than men sometimes. There you go, guys.
Yeah, definitely from an emotional standpoint, for sure. Like as he said.
Yeah.
Man, we got work to do.
Yeah, we got a lot.
And the work is
homework, fellas.
And the work is perpetual. It's never ending. You know, it's always a goal to try to just improve yourself.
I just want to be around when it happens.
When the shift happens.
When the shift happens.
Of men being more empathetic.
Men being more empathetic, but I want to be around when the black men and black women can stop fighting each other and actually love and protect each other.
You feel like we fighting each other?
I definitely believe we're in a fight right now.
Do you think that do you think that we're trying to change it? Do you think that maybe we're in the pupil larvae stage of us trying to change it? Maybe in the first quarter of it?
I don't even know. Part of me wants to say yes, but a lot of me wants to say no. Like between at least our generation.
Okay. Well, we're starting to talk about it though. At least
we
gotta start somewhere.
Yes, I will
somewhere.
give us that. We are starting to talk about it. I just think that between the women that have been hurt by men and hot girl summer, and then hot boys trying to stay up above hot girls, and the black women are like, well, we take care of the black men, but the black men go and date with the white women, and it's just too much hate between black men.
Is it competition? Is it a competition between the black?
I think
Man
at this
and
point
woman?
it is. I think it
Okay.
is because I think men are, or whatever they are now. I can't. Some of these are boys, but I think that they're too busy trying to humble women, and I think women are trying to humble the black men at the same time, other than trying to understand one another to come to a common ground. You get what I'm saying?
I get that.
I think that, yeah, I do. But if we go deep, you know, and these are just my thoughts. But if we go deep into this, we have to start to figure out where do we learn this from? Because we had to learn this behavior from somewhere.
Right.
And one of the things that I've had a conversation about, definitely in a lot of black movies that I've seen, is when we watch movies and television shows, they can be very damaging in the sense that, you know, the roles, right?
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many movies where the black chick is just evil as hell and he's kissing her ass for about an hour and a half, and then finally at the end when he's like, you know, I ain't dealing with this no more, then she comes around. Like that's the plot of so many black movies, right? And so is that subconsciously teaching like that's how you get a man, right? Is being terrible for a while, and then, you know, or I have to show that I am dominant in some way. You're not gonna take advantage of me, and it actually just may be a really good brother, right?
Right.
And then also we've made things where it's like, you know, the corny dude is not attractive. I mean, that's all Fresh Prince is.
Yep.
You know, I mean, not all, but, you know, there's a big plot line in there that the corny dude is just not attractive, right?
Carlton.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got the whole light skin, dark skin thing, which is not,
Yep.
Still going on.
yeah.
Exactly.
So, we, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we need to clean up, but we also got to figure out how we've been fed this stuff. And in the media, and I've been a part of the media on the radio side, but when you just start to think about, really do a deep dive into what we've been fed and spoon-fed as far as like how we're supposed to behave, how the roles, gender roles are supposed to act, how the gender roles are supposed to be in the black community, and, you know, we buy into it.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I think is really interesting, and I've talked about this before on the air, is the inclusion of black people into mainstream America and when that started to happen and how that started to happen, right? And one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that in the 80s, there was this movement on television to let at least one black person in your house. Honestly.
Sidney Poitier.
Well, no, that's way before that, right? I'm talking about if you look at 80s sitcoms, that was the thing.
One
You
black
got
person.
Benson, Different Strokes, Facts of Life, Webster, Give Me a Break.
I wasn't born.
They all
I've
had
heard about it.
that was it all about, right? And
Yeah.
then there's also this whole thing about white America saving us, right?
Yeah.
Webster got adopted.
Yep. That is that
That gotta stop.
right there.
Different Strokes.
Yo,
Give Me a Break.
yes, that's the subject right there.
You're saying something right
You
now.
are.
Right.
You are.
So there's see how this stuff is just very it's
Yeah.
very on the it's you know it's
I definitely
it's
agree.
there, right?
I definitely agree with that. That's, you know what? Because when you hit that, there's a lot of, speaking on movies, there's a lot of movies my mom won't watch because she's like, they always have it seem as if the white person has to come and save us every time, and this is very true. Like Blind Side, or it was the Blind
football
Side,
movie?
yeah. And I was like, dang, like.
That was actually based on a true story.
And it was. And then, you know, every white person is not bad. We
Yeah,
okay,
no,
we get it.
I'm not saying that.
But
There's actually
golly,
several that actually some of the best opportunities I've had in my career have been from.
they're not all bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, dang, can we at least save ourselves sometime? Can we come and save ourselves sometimes? But what I wanted to ask you before, I'm sorry, I got it.
Come on.
How did you feel about, because when you spoke on the movies and you said, oh, the gender roles and da-da-da. Did you ever see Queen and Slim?
I have not seen that.
Okay.
You gotta watch that.
You
Is
gotta
it
watch
great? Can I watch it on a plane? That's where I watch my movies now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nudity
But
in
you
it
know-
because
nah.
I can't do that.
I mean, there's only one scene.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not much.
I think it's one scene of nudity.
Okay, but tell me
That's
about the
taking me
movie
like-
without ruining
You
it
talking
for me.
about the? I don't think we can tell him.
Okay, don't tell me, 'cause
It's
I
like
wanna see it.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Like a
Okay.
modern
With black
Bonnie and
people.
Clyde. Yeah.
It. Yeah.
You can't give the movie away.
I'm not gonna give. What I'm saying is, watch it and,
Yeah.
and watch it the one time, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
It took me 3 times to watch it for me to be like,
Okay.
What seemed like a movie that's supposed to like uplift us.
yeah.
It didn't.
I
It
want,
really-
yeah.
It didn't.
The first time I watched it,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Like, man, like
It took us up on a roller
It
coaster.
did.
And then you're like, wait a minute.
you gotta watch it and then come back and we
Wait a
gotta talk about
minute.
it. Yeah.
I think they just slipped one past the
Yeah,
goal.
They did. They got me because I was like, wait a minute, what? And it's different plots to it because when I watched it 3 times, I was like, dang. And I started writing stuff down. I'm like, no, they could have. Watch it.
Yeah.
Come back in. We gonna
It's
discuss
definitely, it'll be a great watch.
it is.
All right, I'll check
We
that
can have a
out.
part 2.
And then you sit down with your mom and watch Soul Man and tell me how that goes.
Oh, I'm definitely asking her about that. I'm definitely
Soul Man
asking
is
her.
1980 what?
1986. Oh, it's terrible. It's a terrible movie. I've seen
I'm
better
asking her
film
if
on
she's seen
teeth.
it.
It's terrible.
Man,
Awful.
I got, because I'm curious. And I
James
wanna
Earl
know.
Jones is in it.
James Earl Jones in everything.
Yeah, he's in that.
God.
And Ray Dawn Chong is in it.
He don't.
I'm gonna have to see it.
It's Tommy Chong's daughter from Cheech and Chong. She's in a bunch of 80s movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could probably find it on Tubi or something. You know them low budget Tubi.
Oh, yeah. You can find that. Unless they've banned it. Because it needs to be banned.
A lot of stuff is on YouTube.
Okay.
A lot of old
Stuff is
movies.
on YouTube.
I
You're
find
right.
myself watching old movies on YouTube.
A
Okay.
lot of stuff's on YouTube.
Yeah.
They be having. Yeah.
Soul Man.
So man.
Woo-wee.
I gotta watch it because I'm curious. Why? Because I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Me and my when I was doing mornings, my co-host DJ Minutes, he's a white guy,
Right.
and he's the one that actually brought that up to me. He said that. He said he brought it up. I said, man, I never thought of it that way. But it was right. I mean, that movie was way, 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 way in the back of my head of movies that I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
And when he brought that up, I said, wow, I hadn't thought about that. And we talked about it. Yeah, it's terrible. Here's a question for you. Do you think that, this is another question I've had with myself, do you think that it's hard for white America or white Americans that want to speak out just because they will be ostracized? That burden is heavy.
I think so.
I think they just have to contribute, but speaking up I don't feel like it's really their place to speak up. I think they can help in their ways, like behind the scenes, but speaking up,
I challenge you. Why do you think it's not their place to speak up?
we have to learn to speak for ourselves.
I think that we've been speaking for ourselves for a long time.
You think so?
I do. I think that we've speak up for ourselves,
Yeah.
but I think that they don't want to hear it from us because when you're the one being persecuted, people are like, ah. But when you're not the one being persecuted and you're saying that person's being persecuted, your voice, in my opinion, rings louder.
Okay.
Because you're not going to benefit from saying that. I might benefit from saying I'm being mistreated because now I want you to treat me better. The person who's being treated well has no benefit by saying that they're being treated bad. We need to treat them better. So there's a burden there and you could be ostracized from your family and friends from doing that. And I think that there's a lot of people who have that, like they see wrong happening and they just is like, I think it's wrong, I think it's jacked up, but
They keep it in the house.
They keep it to themselves because it could be too painful
I definitely agree
and
with
too
you.
damaging to their career, to their relationship with their family members, to all that kind of
That's
stuff.
like having police brutality, but the good cops don't speak up. Then what?
Well, yeah, because they have to live in
They
that
have to
environment.
live with the other cops.
And I feel like
Ooh,
I
that's
agree
a
with you.
whole-
That's just like, what was that girl's name? I didn't do my research on it. I just saw it passing by on the internet, of course. The white girl that was a basketball player. I think this was at the ESPYs.
Okay.
And I think they were expecting her to do
Paige Buchers.
Yes.
Right.
And they were expecting her to do some type of speech, but basically she spoke out for the other black women. Like,
That was
no,
cool.
yeah, this cool and all, but
Yep.
this person,
That's hard to do. That's
Yeah.
very hard to do. It's a very brave thing to do.
I think that was. I hope that she was speaking from the heart and she did not have that plan.
Because she's got a lot to lose. She has a lot to
like
lose.
she was.
Okay, that she was speaking from the heart, and
Cause
she
she's
did
a
not.
hooper, and like I don't know. I feel like basketball, like sports, is in different ways is kind of a way to kind of bridge the gap through some of those issues. Cause we all on the same team and we all kind of working together.
The only time I don't think you see, a lot of times people don't see race is at concerts and sporting events. I think music and sports are the only thing that brings people together. Where,
Yep.
Okay.
like, if even if you are a racist, right, and you're at a Celtics game, and there's a black dude next to you, or you're a racist or you're a bigot, and there's a white dude, and you don't really mess with white folks like that, and the Celtics just win the game, you're high-fiving that person.
Yeah.
And for
Yep.
that particular moment in time, race kind of goes out the window.
Yep. I ain't never thought about it.
And
like
the same thing with music too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Concerts.
Right. So if you're at a Kanye concert or a Journey concert or Rolling Stones concert, it really doesn't matter. I've noticed that time and time again.
I didn't even. think
Definitely at them concerts.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh my God. I went to a Depeche Mode concert.
Oh, what is the Depeche
Who?
Mode?
Exactly.
I'm not like Mark.
And let me tell you, I was alone.
You was alone?
I was not around. There was a few.
Okay.
Those pepperings. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But at that moment, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Right.
You know who I think that a lot of people that didn't speak up, and I'm starting with, we talked about relationships, and me and JT went to high school of majority. We were definitely the minority.
Yeah, I went to that same high school.
You did?
Okay.
Well, not that one, but
Oh, I was like, wait.
contextually speaking, yeah.
Yeah. And even then, and you know what? Because I'm a grown woman,
Come on.
I really don't care for any of them, really. But
At your phone.
I forgot I have to blow it.
The cookies are
I'm
done.
sorry.
The pot roast is ready to come out there.
Look,
Oh,
I'm
it
thinking
is
I'm
10.
like,
It
yeah.
is
No,
10.
we never get because it's under. But
Oh,
anyways,
okay.
being I felt like in that environment, I came from a public school, majority blacks,
Yep.
and I'm able, thank God, I have the ability to adapt well. But I was very uncomfortable. Now I can't speak for my other black friends that attended the school with me, but I was very uncomfortable. And I felt like there were things that needed to be spoken on. But I felt when the opportunity presented itself, those were another set of white folks that was not trying to speak.
No, go ahead.
I just felt like they wanted to benefit off. They always wanted to benefit off of us. I mean, we played sports. We had good music. We have culture. We're the shit, actually. And they wanted to benefit off of us, but they never wanted to speak up on the fact that, they probably getting treated wrong. Or they.
Well, that goes back to my other point. Even if they did have the feeling that, that things were wrong, or they didn't see those things, they peeped those things, it's going to be very painful for that person to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would. That's enough. We're going to get into that one day.
We gotta have a part 2, Mark.
Yeah, let's do
we
it.
do.
Let's talk about it.
We do, because you give the gems.
Mark, get up in there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we pull back covers here.
Come on, hey, pull it back.
That's right.
Pull it back.
We cleaning underneath
I know that's right.
we cleaning underneath the bed.
I know that's right. Get him, Mark. Make sure. Sweep it up. Okay?
Yeah, that's
we
right.
are unleashing
Let's
and
go.
unveiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate y'all having the conversation with me.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Could you give us some homework, man? Give us some homework. To take home.
On top of the
I
homework
like
you
take
already
home.
gave me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the homework would be to think of how do I put this? We always think that we can that we need to be better, right? We need to look out for people better, right? and to support each other and all that. And listen, Jordan, I mean, this is my business. I own a podcast studio, and it's a black business, and you've supported this black business, and I appreciate that, right? But let's all think about ways that we can contribute to a society where we uplift our people, and maybe think of creative ways that we can also normalize mental health.
Yes.
Like we need to think. Here's the homework assignment, and this will be benefit. Think of that one person in your life that you know could benefit from a mental health conversation, and have that conversation in a way that you think is not self-serving to you, but would penetrate them to the point where they may actually consider it in their private time.
One person, you said?
One person.
We gotta learn how.
I have my one person, and I'm working on him right now. That's what made me think of this.
It's not you though.
No.
Me and you.
I've been to therapy before, but I mean, I have somebody who in my life who I think really could benefit from it, and I'm working on them right now.
Definitely got a person for sure.
I tried one.
Don't they have to be willing though?
No.
What if they're not willing?
Well, have the conversation anyway.
I did.
Because you never know where you can plant the seed and it actually penetrates. People spend more time talking to themselves than talking to you. Sometimes people are very defensive about it. But if you come to them the right way, where you're not being self-serving, and it actually comes off like you care, then, or bring it up however you want to bring it up, I think that you might be able to penetrate. Just keep working on it.
So not in a way like I'm making you.
You need to do this. You would really benefit from it. Maybe come at them from a different angle. Be creative about how you want to come to them.
That's a very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I always think about that.
Yeah.
Without feeling like it's not just self-serving, but like you're attacking them.
Right. And that keeps us from doing a lot of things that could benefit other people, because we're afraid of how it could come off. Just come from a really sincere place in your heart and talk to them in their language about it, and see if you get anywhere.
I'm gonna take you up on that.
Right.
All right.
We gotta start packaging it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Package it in a way where you speak in their language.
Got it.
All right.
Got it.
Come on, man. We got Mark McCray in here, man.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Catch you on the rebound. Nobody want to hear about mental health. Hey, that's okay.
I'm glad you're doing this, man. Smart. It's smart. It's positive.
Yes, I'm proud of my friend.
Shout out to Vicky.
Hey, y'all. Get well acquainted, because I'll be here often.
Let's go.
Great job. Great job.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That was good.
Mark, you be dropping them.
Hey, Mark, you came in.
I mean,